Hello, my name is Faye Callista. I'm an instruction librarian here at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Welcome to today's webinar on navigating the library. So just to begin, this webinar is basically just going to be kind of an orientation. So just a general overview of some of the different resources that we have. Since we have a lot of resources, I'm not going to go into any detail about each and every one, but I'm going to kind of show you where the different resources are located, how to find, where to go for books, where to find articles, streaming videos, and that kind of thing. I'll also give you some tips along the way on how to access some of those resources and how to get better results when you do searches. Um, and then I'll also talk about some of the services that we have, including interlibrary loan and help if you need it. All right, so to begin with, you'll notice that you have a search screen right here on the main library page. You can access this page through the My Chicago School. You could even access it actually through the main Chicago School website. If you go down to the bottom of the page, there's a link there as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can get to the library. I believe there's also links within Canvas as well. All right, so the search screen right here, we call it our discovery tool. And this basically searches across all of our different resources, just about almost, not quite 100%, but just about. So it's a good place to look or a good place to search if you're searching for anything specific. So if you're looking for a specific article or a specific book, you would use this search screen right here. You can also search for specific items or types of items by clicking on the different tabs here. So you'll notice that we have one for books, one for articles, and one for videos. So let's start with books. We actually have a pretty sizable collection of ebooks. And then if you search the ebooks tab, that will also include some of our campus resources as well. However, since our campuses are closed at the moment, probably you just want to search our ebook collections. So let's go ahead and do a search. You want to kind of start your search somewhat broadly if you're just looking for books on a particular topic. So just today I had somebody looking for, let's see, books on PTSD and alcoholism. So you can look for that. Click search. So here's our results. Now this will include both ebooks and books at the different campuses. So for example, you'll notice this book right here. It says that it's available at the Chicago campus. If you click on it, you can actually view more details about this book and if it's available at any other campuses or if there's any online editions. You can click here for check for electronic resources. Looks like this one probably isn't available as a ebook, but there's still a link here where you can order it through interlibrary loan. Now, due to COVID-19, you are not able to actually order entire books through interlibrary loan, but if you wanted to get a chapter, for example, you could do that through interlibrary loan. All right, so let's go back. If the item is available as an ebook, it usually will just say it right there, view ebook. So it looks like a number of these are available as ebooks. Let's go ahead and click on this one here. Looks like it's available in a couple different places, so it doesn't really matter which one you click on. And we have ebooks available through a number of different vendors, so some of them will look different. It looks like this one's through our Oxford Clinical Psychology collection. And it looks like we have it sort of broken down by chapter, so you can click on each individual chapter and then read that chapter. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Maybe we'll take a look at, let's see, this one. All right, so this one is in our EBSCO ebook collection. Again, it looks a little different. This time, if you go to the table of contents, again, you can click on the chapter that you want, and that'll open up that chapter. This has a few other features. You can actually, most of these will enable you to cite what you are looking at. So if you click on the Cite button, there's the APA citation. Looks like, sometimes you have to double check that citation just to make sure it is correct. So you still need to know your APA format, but this can be a big time saver. All right, let's see if we can open up one more from maybe a different collection here. This one is available in eBook Central in ProQuest. And again, all of these should have a table of contents where you can go and click on the chapter that you want. Sometimes you can search the entire book. So if you click on Read Online, I can search within the book, maybe for a particular keyword or phrase. eBook Central is kind of nice too because you can create an account and then save items to your bookshelf. So if I wanted to, save this book for later, or I could even uh, create notes or highlights. So there's like right here, there's a highlighting tool and there's a notes tool. And any highlights or notes that you make on the book are also saved to your bookshelf. But again, if you sign in, looks like oops. All right. So that's just a couple of sort of things I wanted to show you about ebooks. You can always limit your search here to just ebooks as well under format. So you'll notice right now you just have books. So that includes, dissertations, ebooks, print books, everything. But if you just wanted ebooks, you could also do that. And then that way you don't have to see any other results. All right. Now, I know some people like to save the items that they find in this discovery tool. You can easily do that by clicking on Save, and that saves that to your items folder. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and this is something that I think trips up a lot of people, is of course, you do have to sign in order for those to actually save. But there's an extra step as well. So, I'm signed in, I've got my items in my folder, which you can see right here under my items. But then you have to actually create a list for it to really save. So I'm going to create a list for, let's see, we'll call this PTSD. You can put in a description if you want, and then we'll click Save. All right. So now my citations are saved in my PTSD list. There we go. So that's an extra step that you have to make in order for those items to save. I know I do get questions sometimes from students, like, oh, I've saved these items and now I can't find them. Well, this is probably why. You always have to create a list in order to save them. All right, so that's books. Now let's go back to the main page. And I'll show you a couple other things here. So we looked at books. We can also look at videos here. We've got a pretty extensive collection of online streaming videos. So again, let's look at PTSD again. Maybe we'll put in an extra keyword here. So again, if you are looking for videos, it will show you both e-videos or streaming online videos and videos that are available at some of the different campuses, probably in DVD format. Um, if you wanted to limit that to just e-videos, you could do that here under format. That makes it easy and it eliminates any of those DVDs that you probably won't be able to access at this point. Um, so each of these items have a View Now link where that takes you to the database, where that's located. Looks like this one's located in a couple of different places. So you can click on that and that will take you to the video. When you click on it, it actually oftentimes will begin playing. So we're going to go ahead and let's see here. Oh, this one isn't. A lot of these do have transcripts, so that's kind of nice. You can also create clips, not in all of the streaming online video collections, but if you are in the Alexander Street collection, for example, it does allow you to create clips, which is really cool if you're doing like a presentation, for example, and you just wanted to maybe show a quick clip of a video, maybe to show a particular therapy technique or whatever the case may be. But in order to create a clip, you do have to create an account. So again, you click on the top right-hand corner here and sign in or create an account. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about how to create clips. If you have any questions on how to do that, this site actually has some great help guides, or you can ask your librarian or the library staff, and we'd be happy to help you with that as well. So, all right, let me close that. Go back to the main page. So that's videos, books, and then otherwise, if you're not if you're not looking specifically for books or videos, most of us are usually looking for articles to use for our papers or maybe our dissertation or assignment. Um, so there's a couple different ways that you can search for articles. Obviously, you can go here and use the discovery search, and I'll show you a couple things with regards to that. So again, we'll do PTSD and alcoholism, just because that was, I don't know, it's on my mind because it was the last question that I got. Make sure that it's spelled correctly. All right, so here's our results. You'll notice that it's quite a lot. Oops, I didn't do PTSD. Let's try that again. There we go. So you'll notice this is a lot of results. We've got 12,391 results. Um, some different ways that you can narrow it down. Of course, we can add additional keywords. So think about like what aspect do you want to look at, for example? Are you looking for therapeutic approaches? Are you looking at particular studies on could be any aspect of treatment and so forth. So adding additional keywords is definitely one way that we can narrow the search down. We can also narrow it by year. So maybe I want just the last 5 years, for example, or the last 10 years, just really recent research. I can do that. And then I can also download it or narrow it down by format. So it looks like we have a few sort of random Um, Even though we did click on the articles tab, we're still getting, like book chapters and dissertations and that kind of thing, just because this tool isn't perfect. So if I just wanted articles, click up that. So now we have a little bit more of a manageable selection. We've narrowed it down to the last 5 years into articles and so forth. Now you'll notice that there aren't a lot of choices here in terms of how to narrow it down. I mean, yes, we can narrow it down by year. We can just click on peer reviewed and just have peer reviewed scholarly journals. That narrows it down. But there's kind of a limit here on, sort of the different ways that we can limit this. So I wanted to show you a different way that you can find articles besides using the um, discovery search, because it does have its limitations. So you'll notice that we also have under Discover, we have a place here where you can search databases. So these are the different sort of article databases that we have subscriptions to. So you'll find that under the Discover and then Articles Databases A through Z link. You can also find this actually right here under the search screen under Databases A through Z. That's another way to get to that. So, and then from here, you'll notice we have a lot of databases, like hundreds, but you can narrow it down by subject. And so, if we're still searching for that same sort of topic area, that might fall under psychology. So you can click on the psychology link, and then it gives you some recommended resources for psychology. Now, probably the top database for psychology topics is going to be PsycInfo. If you're not sure what databases are the best for your particular topic, you're welcome to also ask a librarian. I mean, we do try to put sort of the recommended resources here, but sometimes it can still be kind of overwhelming. So yeah, for psychology, we definitely recommend the PsycInfo database. It's, I think, the top psychology database. Let's go ahead and go to advanced search. Now you'll notice that we have a few more options here for limiting. I mean, we have some of the same ones that you've seen before, like limit to peer-reviewed or limit to a particular date range. But then if you scroll down a little further, you'll notice that we have some additional choices here. So you can limit to a particular, methodology. Maybe you're looking for just empirical studies, for example. Maybe you want to look at literature reviews or qualitative studies, etc. So you can do that. You'll also notice that there are some different age groups here that you can limit to and so forth. Another nice feature of some of these subject-specific databases that you won't find at the discovery search here is also it's got a thesaurus. So this will show you, either narrower terms, broader terms, synonymous terms. That can be really helpful if you're not quite sure, if you just want to use a subject term. So let's go ahead and kind of show you what that looks like. So for depression, there's different types of depression, right? Maybe we want to use, for example, major depression as a subject term. It gives you sometimes a note about this. And then here are some related terms and so forth. So it looks like if I want to use this as a subject term, I can just use that as in my search. All right. Oh, there we go. And then I can click add to search. All right, so I'm using that as a subject term, and then maybe I want to look at PTSD again, so I'll put and. You'll notice here that you've got some options here as well. If I want to have this term and this term both appear somewhere, either in the title, the abstract, and so forth, I use and. If I want to look at major depression but not PTSD, I can do that, and so forth. Or would mean I'm looking for either that term or that term. It could be one or both. That definitely expands your search. So I usually don't use that unless sort of looking at two sort of related terms. All right. And then another thing you'll notice here, and this is for most of our ProQuest databases, is it'll search in anywhere. But I'm going to change that to anywhere except full text, just because that if you're searching in anywhere, it's going to look for your keywords in not only the title and the abstract, but also the entire article. So I try to kind of keep it a little more precise by indicating anywhere except full text here. That way it's looking for these keywords in the title, the abstract, but not the entire article. All right, so let's do a search. I'm going to show you a couple other features here that you might find helpful that you won't find in the discovery search is, so we've got 2,816 results. So we could probably still narrow that down. One nice way that we could do that is by clicking on subject and then clicking more. And that kind of breaks that down. So if there's a particular aspect that I want to look at, I can do that. So let's see here. Maybe I can look at, prevalence or um, drug therapy, treatment outcomes, cognitive therapy, whatever aspect you're looking at. And one thing you'll notice too when you look at like how this breaks down by subject is, again, you might have some sort of terms that are related. So you can click on, for example, let's see here. Wanted to see, like there's stress, psychological, and then the word stress. So this if by clicking on both, you sort of encompass both of those concepts. Um, so psychotherapy, there might be some different words that are related, like maybe psychotherapy, maybe treatment. Um, Cognitive behavioral therapy is a specific type of therapy or treatment, right? So that's something that you can do to further narrow down your search. And I find actually that's really helpful. There we go. Now it narrowed it down to 442 results. Now, PsycInfo is not necessarily a completely full text database. So a lot of times the full text will be right there. It'll say full text PDF or something like that. But sometimes you'll have to actually click on, either where it says access full text or this 360 link. So if you click on the 360 link, you'll notice that either it'll take you to that particular article, right, where it's full text online. So it looks like this one is. But if it isn't available full text in any of our databases, which does happen, you can also request it through interlibrary loan. So that's a free service that we have through the library. It's accessible here, within the databases, but you can also actually access interlibrary loan on our main library site as well under My Accounts. So you'll notice if you click on My Accounts, and then you can click on Check Interlibrary Loan Account. And then you can also then see the requests that you've made, but then also create a request here as well. but probably the easiest way to request items is through these links, these individual links in the databases. You'll also find those in the discovery search as well, those results. Okay, you're probably wondering, or you might be wondering, why is this showing you items that are not full text? Um, and that's really because PsycInfo is a database that will sort of designed to cover the psychology literature, right? So it'll show you citations for, all the items within the journals and other resources that they cover. And whether we own access to those articles or not, it'll show you those items. And it's really helpful, particularly if you're doing sort of more in-depth research or if you're, searching for your dissertation. You want to be able to see everything, not just the items that we have available through the library. Because there are, as I said, like, using interlibrary alone, um, there's ways to get those items. It's just going to take a little more time. A lot of people ask me, how long does it take to get those items through interlibrary loan? Probably won't help you if that paper is due tomorrow morning, but if you have a little bit of time, usually we get those items in within a day, 2 days, 3 days. I know with the COVID-19 situation, that turnaround time might be a little bit longer than it would normally be, but still you should be able to get most items fairly quickly. So definitely keep that in mind as a method of getting some of these items that are not full text. Okay, so let's go back. That was just like info, but you'll notice that we have, a considerable number of resources here. If you're in organizational leadership or any of our sort of business related databases, we've got a number of databases here such as the ABI Inform Global, I think is a really great database, Business Source Elite, and then some of these other ones are sort of more specific. They've got like economics and finance research, management. We've got some business cases here and so forth. And again, if you're not sure where to look for a particular type of information, you're more than welcome to ask us here in the library. You can also narrow your search here by database type. So while this will sort of narrow your results by subject, this will narrow the databases by type. So if you're looking specifically for dissertations or handbooks, maybe reports, financial information, statistics, data sets, videos, and so forth, you can limit it here. So here we have, if we're looking for case studies, for example, these are some of the different databases that include case studies. All right. So that is our database A through Z list. And again, you can find that under databases A through Z here or the discovery or discover databases A through Z. Now you'll notice we have some additional resources here under the Discovery tab. So you can look at our databases, but you can also search for individual journal titles by clicking on that journals link. So if I wanted to look for a particular journal, like let's look at maybe I want to look at the American Psychologist and type that title. And then it looks like we do have this particular title and we have it in this database from 1946 to the present. So I can then click on that link. That'll take me to the database where that particular journal is located. Sometimes we have multiple databases that have that journal. And you can also browse specific issues if you wanted as well. So if I wanted to look at the most recent issue. It looks like we've got the May 2020 edition here, or volume, or issue. And then these are all the articles from that particular issue. I can also search within that journal or publication here and search by keyword, author, what have you. All right, so going back to the main page. So that's journals. We've also got a few selected research tools here, including our dissertations and theses database. So you can find dissertations from universities worldwide. I think almost 2 million full-text dissertations are included in this database, including dissertations from our very own Chicago School graduates. So if you click on that link, there's a way here where you can actually limit to Chicago School. You can actually look it up here. Click find. All right, there we go. Looks like we've got 4,316 dissertations in this database from the Chicago School. All right, and there they are. Then I can further limit it if I want by a keyword or however you want to do that. So that's our dissertation database. And by the way, dissertations can be sometimes a goldmine of information. If you're doing a research paper, if you find a dissertation that's like, somewhat close to the topic that you're looking for, take a look at the reference list. It can be really helpful, especially if it's a really recent dissertation. All right, and then we also have our Web of Science. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that, but it's a database that includes peer-reviewed and empirical research articles in a variety of disciplines, but generally within the area of science, so medical, psychological, and so forth. And we have our Psychiatry Online collection here, which is a DSM-5 and some other select resources. So if you're tired of lugging around your DSM-5, this is a really great resource here. You can go directly to the section that you want, and it has it right there. And it also includes our DSM-5 clinical cases and some other items. All right, so that is under our Discover tab. We also have some separate links here for our test kit collections, video streaming services, and so forth. We've also got a link here for Google Scholar, which you can actually set up to show you what items are available at our library. If you click on the left-hand side here under Settings, you can actually go to Library Links. Oops, type Chicago School. I don't even have to type the whole thing here. I've got that right there. Click Save. And now when we do a search, it'll show you what items are available at our camp or our library. So that's really cool. And again, if you find any items in Google Scholar that are not available in any of our databases and that are not available full text, you can also request those through Interlibrary Loan under My Accounts and Interlibrary Loan. All right. So that generally covers, sort of our main resources for finding information, particularly articles, but also book chapters, videos. We also have some additional tools that you might find helpful. We have under My Accounts, you'll notice that we also have a link here for RefWorks, which is a citation manager. This is a really great tool to sort of help organize all of your citations in one place. Probably have, actually, I will have a webinar a little later this summer that sort of talks more about how to use these tools, not just RefWorks, but some of the other tools that are available that help you manage your citations and create reference lists in APA format. And then also what it does is it helps you to use the citations that you've saved while you write as well. So um, that webinar is coming up here. Let's see here. See if I have a copy. Hold on a second. Yeah. So I've got a session coming up here on June 16th on reference managers. So I won't be able to go into much detail about RefWorks during this session, only to let you know that it's available through the library, and it enables you to sort of organize all of your citations in one place and use it also while you write. Great. We've got some other campus resources here, or links to different campus resources, IT, help desk, information, and so forth. We also have a find help link here. We've got some subject guides, some guides on how to start the research process and so forth, how to organize your citations, some tutorials. But the thing that I wanted to point out here that is, I think, a really key, if there's anything that you come away with from this presentation, it's this: we're here to help. So, you know, whether it's you're beginning your research and you're not sure kind of where to search or how to search, or maybe you've done some research and hit a wall, no matter where you're at in the research process, you're welcome to contact us for help. So you'll notice that there is a chat service available here. There's always a little window where you can ask us to chat with one of our graduate assistants, are usually the people who are helping with our chat service. Sometimes the librarians are on there as well. But also you can schedule an appointment with a librarian. This is a really great sort of option that you have. So here's all of our librarians, including me. You can schedule an appointment with any one of us, and it doesn't really matter even what campus you're located at. You know, all of us are able to help. You can schedule an appointment by just clicking on the schedule appointment link and then choose a time that works best for you. We all use GoToMeeting. We'll probably switch to Zoom at some point, but you know, it's a really great way to get the help that you need, and really, like, don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, I can speak, I think, to all the librarians here that, you know, we're happy to help and we really welcome your questions. So don't, you know, feel shy, or, you know, don't hesitate. You know, we're here. That's what we're here for. Otherwise, you can also, if you don't want to schedule an appointment, you can also email us or text the library as well. All right. Then we have some additional help here. So we've got like links here to the Writing Center if your questions are more writing related. If you've got APA questions, Purdue OWL is a really great resource. We've got some online tutoring as well. So, all right. And let's go back to the main page here. One other thing that I wanted to point out, since we are sort of in, you know, due to COVID-19 and the fact that our library is closed, we wanted to make sure that you had access to any other sort of additional resources during this time. So we have a link here for, you know, some of the remote services that are offered through the library. If you click on the link, it gives you some sort of information about some changes during this time, how to access particular resources. We even have some of the textbooks here by program, and then some links to temporary resources like the APA manual and others um, that may be helpful. All right. Well, and that basically covers everything. I think, if you have additional questions or if there's something that I didn't cover, you're more than happy again to, reach out, send an email, schedule an appointment, and we're happy to help. I hope this was informative. Yeah. So thank you for attending. Have a great night.